Hi guys, welcome back to another Daily Tarot card. These are your Daily Tarot cards for Friday, December the 9th, 2022. Today we're pulling from the Tarot of Dreams tarot cards. So we have the Empress. I love the fact that they have this cornucopia, and I feel like, if this is very Empress energy where she has abundance and she shares it with others, she's ruled by Venus. So it's just like, this is the time of gift giving. Oh, look at that. I never even noticed that. She has a baby holding in her hands. Oh, I love that. I definitely do believe a baby is held before they are born. I believe like our ancestors and our loved ones that have passed hold our child before they come to this earth and put their blessings upon it and send it out into the world. I think it's beautiful. But notice the green of the top three cards, and I feel like this is with our heart chakra. We're giving from our heart. So I feel like that's where they're saying like embrace your nurturing side. But remember, to a point of self-preservation. We have the three of coins here, and I feel like with the three of coins we were talking about January 2023, so maybe this portal opens, but they're saying like, with your hands you're opening new doors. I feel like if you're able to collaborate with other people, like this new opportunity will come in. I definitely feel like it'll be magical. I definitely believe like, universe is behind it, but I feel like that's a very beautiful card. We go into the Six of Coins, and I feel like this is the generosity that we have. I feel like out of our abundance, we're able to give back, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. They're talking about in this card, though, it could be like an unequal partnership is what they feel. They're saying the scales are not balanced. That's the way they're being tilted. But the thing is, it's just like they're equally distributed with the 3 and 3 coins. But the scales are tilted, but it could be just the angle that it's at. But they're saying like, out of their abundance they're giving so little. You know what I mean? So it's like, be mindful of that. You know what I mean? Maybe you're in a relationship and you're just kind of justifying why you're still there, and they're like, well, look out of everything you give them, look how much they've taken and how much they're giving. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's kind of, sometimes we deal with it. It's like, oh, it's okay, I'm in a relationship, that's all that matters. Sometimes we allow it, and we got to be mindful of that. You got to be careful because this time of year, they call it the winter blues, where we go into this, like, maybe Christmas time brings up, a sad memory, maybe it was one of our favorite loved ones' favorite holiday. So it's just like being mindful of that. They're saying sword energy, but, here at the Three of Swords, it's like heartbreak, They're saying, instead of letting these swords pierce your heart, let them begin to heal. Let them begin to fall out. Think with your higher self. There's a lot of Libra energy with this spread. So with our higher self, this is, where the Libra comes in and saying, you know what? I can't do anything to change the situation. It happened. I'm going to feel these emotions and I'm going to move forward. So meditation. So we have the sun in Sagittarius, the moon in Gemini, and it's a big fat full moon. And it's just like embrace that energy about it. You know what I mean? About the excitement. They're saying like, maybe you don't feel like you could sit still, but it's just like, do a lot of exhausting activities. They're like hiking and then going for a walk and then changing you putting snow tires on, maybe decorating your tree. So it's like, do all these things that will exhaust you so you're able to meditate, or maybe have a glass of wine and just chill out. They're showing, I feel like, escapism from this Three of Swords is sleeping. And a lot of people do that, go through depression. They're up all night thinking, and then they sleep all day. And they're like, oh my God, all they do is sleep. They weren't actually sleeping. They were in their head. They were tossing and turning. They didn't actually sleep. They were actually, going through it all night. And then finally the sun comes up and it's like, the body for some reason rests. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's not that but sometimes they just lay there, Sometimes to them, meditation, relaxation is just laying there. I feel comfortable under my blankets. I'm nice and toasty. Everything is good. I don't have to do anything. I'm going to lay here, So we got to watch that, we don't want to go. That's what I'm saying. You got to watch going down that rabbit hole. It's fine to reminisce. It's fine to think about the past for learning lessons and happy memories, sometimes not such happy memories, but don't make a home there, This Four of Swords could be saying, hey, this is a time where things are going to slow down for me, for healing. This is typically what happens, which is understandable. Everybody's Christmas shopping, everybody's going to holiday parties, family parties, X, Y, and Z, and celebrating. And then Christmas Eve comes and it's like, hey, are you busy? Are you working? And that's fine by me. So it's like, rest and rejuvenation before you pick up that sword again. So it's like, appreciate the energy and don't complain about it. Just do what you need to do. Get through the day. and then, go and, this weekend, go out and hopefully you're not, you're done your Christmas shopping and everything, and you're able just to enjoy. You're able just to embrace just to put your feet up and have a nice beverage and have a good weekend. We're showing the Four of Cups here, and it's like, you really do have a blessed life. It may not look exactly like you wanted it. Maybe it does. Maybe you are going through this funky energy where it's like that escapism of sleep that like escapes the reality because you wanted things to be different. But the thing is, it's like appreciate where you are. We were talking about this earlier in the week, how many people would give their right arm, as they would say, just to sit there and have a taste of what you have. You know what I mean? Sometimes we forget how blessed we are. Sometimes, with this full reflective, Gemini moon, it's like going within and saying, hey, for myself, it's like, look where you were 5 years ago and look where you are now. Look how much, universe was so kind enough to tell me this, where they're like, hey, you know what? I know you're upset about that, but, think about, all the things that have come into your life since Shane has passed. You know what I mean? Like, yes, it was a horrible situation. It was a definitely hard reboot of life. But the thing is, it's like everything that we knew you could handle came into your life, and look where you are now. So it's like, things will come in the right time, and that's where you have to think with your higher self. So we're going to start with the Empress. The Empress of the Tarot's dreams holds his specters of power to us. He seems to be encouraging us to take hold of the use of our own power and carefully consider the ramifications of the use of it. So with myself, someone came to me that I am close to, that I love. I love her and her children. I wish I could do more for them. And they're like, I need you to sit there and pull some more cards for me because this is what's going on. We just did a reading. I said, no problem. Sat there, did a reading, and I told her, and I said, I'm sorry. This is going to be, they're telling some things, and I apologized afterwards. I just was in the energy. It was like, boom, 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 boom. And I said to her, I apologize. It was very blunt. It was to the point, but I feel like that's what she needed to hear. You know what I mean? And her loved one was there, and they were showing like how they would grab him by the scuff of his neck and it's like, let's go. You know what I mean? So it's like, we need to freaking take a hold of this situation, And I apologized afterwards because yes, when my guides come in, my love, I never take credit for what I pass through in a reading. I know it's them. I'm lucky enough that I am blessed enough to have this ability. We all do. It's just, unfortunately I've been through a lot, so, my hearing is more in tune than others. But it's like, I apologize to her because, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of information, So it's just like, that's where we have to, and myself, I have to be careful. And that's where I'm like, this is what they're saying. These are not my words. These are their words. I'm just, passing along the message. Don't shoot the messenger, if you will. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm passing along the message. I care about you. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I'm just here to tell you what they're telling me. This is what they're showing me. This is what they're telling me. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. Like, they were showing with one person of mine, and they kept showing her dad. And it was, thank God it wasn't what they were showing. You know what I mean? I was like, this is what when this card usually comes out, this is what it means. And it came out, but thank God it wasn't as, like, with other people that got that card. And I always tell people, I'm going to be 100% with you. When I get this card, this is what it means. So just be, you know what I mean? Watch what you're doing, So that's where it's like, we have powers, we have these abilities, but we got to be careful how we use them. So with this, Aries, the sign of pioneers who venture into the untamed territory in the territory in order to impose civilization and structure. So we're building a foundation here, But I love the fact that they were sitting there saying, like, you know what I mean? As you go in, you got to be careful about that. You got to be careful about how you use your abilities. So one thing I found interesting was, like, the Hebrew letter here on the corner of the Empress. This one right here means door. Creation must pass through one or several doors, literally or metamorphically, as it leaves its place of gestation, manifestation in the world. So, definitely saying like this is opening a door, and you see with the three of coins, it does look like a portal opening here. It kind of looks like the Milky Way to me. I don't feel like a black hole so much, but I definitely feel like, positivity. I would not be surprised if we got something there showing leveling up when we do our new moon or our Mercury retrograde forecast and projections for the 23rd. So I'm not going to be shocked if that comes out. I'll be quite honest. So it's like, get ready. And honestly, it's like, get out in the moon. It really, I don't know, man. It's just like, I'm grateful for it. My ability has been very potent lately, and I'm very grateful for that because, I always want to be on point, and I feel like a lot of us do. But I feel like I could tell, like, it's like anything. And I tell my kids that I could see how much my ability is improved. Like, even just like walking down the stairs, and it's like all of a sudden my girlfriend will flash in my head. They said something. I said, okay, where's my phone? Grab my phone and messaged her immediately. 2 days later, it happened. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes I'm not always able to, like, sit there and message people because, life just, is a little, preoccupied at that time. And it's just like, that's where I'm making notes on my phone and stuff so I don't forget. So we go to the three of coins. In a reading, the card indicates that you have attained mastery of a particular subject. It could also represent the act of creation, taking the raw materials and transforming them into exciting new shapes. This is representative of Mars and Capricorn. So funny enough, Mars is right next to Gemini right now. You have the power, Mars, to harness Capricorn, transmittive energy like the fire of the craftsman's kiln, to give shape to refined creation. I love that. We definitely need to harness our power. Like, things are just getting really out of control in the world. And it's just like, I don't know if anyone's following, the news, but in the UK, they're all on strike because the cost of living is just insane. You know what I mean? It's just like, they're like, how are we supposed to live when you keep increasing? It's like, how, you know what I mean? How is anyone supposed to live? It's like, we get a raise, and it's like, the tax man's right there. Knock, 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 knock. I'm talking from Canada. CPP just went up. Oh, you're getting more benefits? We're going to take more out of your pocket. I understand benefits. That's our choice. But it's like, you need those benefits, especially if you have a family. You know what I mean? It's like, and people are on prescriptions. It's worth it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, take money out for that. Food prices. Who ever thought in a million years? I used to see butter. I would say to my mom, oh my gosh, look at there's a good sale on butter. It's like and she's like, no, Jen, it's only half a stick of butter. It's like, they always get us with that because the way they angle the butter. You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh my gosh. Well, not her or me. But I'm just, oh, there's a great deal. She's a senior citizen because they told her, like, oh, come on Thursday and you'll get the discounted price plus the seniors discount. I'm like, see, Mom? I'm like, that's when your age comes in handy. She starts laughing. She doesn't act her age at all, honestly. So the Six of Coins, an old and interpersonal level, this card may suggest an unequal relationship in which one person always gives and the other person always takes. While the man seems to be handing out equally with one hand, notice the scales in the other hand are still unbalanced. So it's like, I feel like it's a wake-up call. You know what I mean? It's just like, maybe there is a relationship in your life where you feel like, oh, this is good, but they're saying, hey, you know what? The little they're giving of what you give is not equal. I feel like they were saying, like, reconnecting with someone. So it's like, it doesn't always have to be financial, tit for tat, whatever it is. You know what I mean? I feel like it's just a humble reminder to be like, hey, it is a season of giving. You are definitely the empress. You are a nurturer. You are a giver. But hey, just remember here, you always give more than you receive. It's just sometimes that's in our energy. Like, me, I love to give gifts because I want to see how happy the person is. It's like, you told me you liked something months ago. I went and found it and I gave it to you as a present. I just want to see that happy, like, on your face. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that's where it, I don't know. It's just, be mindful of that. If you're always giving, 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 it's like, and you're a giver, it's like, be mindful of that. We have to catch ourselves, the things that we think are, we're doing good. Like, even though it comes from a good place, it's like people will use that. Oh, I'm sad. Buy me this. It's like, you got to watch that. So Three of Swords, this is where the shadow energy, so I feel like this is our throat chakra, where it's like, sometimes we keep things to ourselves and we don't express it, so we go internally with it. And it's like, don't let that bubble to the surface, to the fact, or let yourself go deep into your shadow thoughts, where it's like, thinking about this, this, this. Like universe reminded me, whatever I am ready for, they will put in my life. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's like, sometimes I feel like, oh yeah, I could, I'm definitely ready for that. But it's like, they know me better than I know me. They're like, we know when you're supposed to have love in your life. So just, take a chill pill, So the Three of Swords. The woman has become too invested in a practical viewpoint. In a reading, this card signifies that you're facing disappointment and grief because your experience did not match your expectations. And that's the biggest thing. It's like, not even so much expecting it, it's just like awoken something in you. You wanted this, desire, you know what I mean? But it's like, maybe you thought it would be different, which is fine. This is where the Seven of Cups comes in, and like, reality check, our higher selves. A lot of Libra energy here. Libra is on this card. And this is where our higher levels of thinking come in with the swords energy, the Queen of Swords, the Page of Swords. Let's cut through the truth. Let's cut out of the bullshit. Deborah Silverman's book, The Missing Element. Take the emotions out of the situation. What are the facts? You know what I mean? It's like, just because you feel some way, don't expect that person's supposed to feel that way. You know what I mean? It's just like, you got to be rational. You know what I mean? It's like, you got to be logical. Even though we hate it, and it's a truth that we don't want to hear, it's just like, that's the truth. So we got to accept it. It's just like, feel what you're feeling and let it go. This is a lesson we often find ourselves learning over and over again. Yep, especially when it comes to love. I am definitely a lover. So Saturn in Libra. Limitations, Saturn, are expected in a far and balanced way. Libra, no one is exempt from disappointment. But the big lesson there is to be like, you know what? It's a disappointment, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? For me, I'm like, you know what? At least it shows me that I'm ready for my heart to be awakening again. I'm ready to love someone fully. You know what I mean? But it's just like, I feel like universe was, showing me like, that person deserves Empress energy, full 100% Empress energy. But so does my children. Because one of them is going through it more than the other. So it's just like, at this time, it's not supposed to happen. So, whatever happens, happens. It's just like, sometimes we need that like kind of clunk in the head. They're showing like a cast iron pan knock in the head. It's like, sometimes we need that clunk in the head to be like, hey, Dami, wake up. You got other things going around. So the Four of Swords, this is where the rest and rejuvenation. But I feel like with the Three of Swords, I feel like the Four of Swords is an escapism from reality. You know what I mean? For myself, it's just like, big go, 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 go. And it's just like, okay, let's catch up on some sleep here. Because there are been some days where I've only gotten 4 hours of sleep. You know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, we need to catch up on some sleep here so I can be potent in everything that I do. So mental rest, sleep, meditation, turning the mind elsewhere, allowing intuitive processes to take over. This is where our dreams come in. See, for me, it's like, the Three of Swords, I can't escape because now it's in my dreams. But then they mentioned meditation. So did my son. He's like, Mom, don't you think you should do a meditation? I'm like, shut up. I will when I will. So when this card appears in a reading, it is time for you to retreat and rest. Sleep and meditation, go for a walk. Or engage in pastimes that take your mind off whatever it is that preoccupies with. So, like, even Deborah Silverman was saying this, like, sometimes we'll play video games and such because we're not really thinking at that time. It's just like a time just to, like I play Fortnite. So I love playing those kind of games. Like Fable is one of my favorites. Far Cry 3, it's just like going in and I know fantasy, going in and doing these storylines. You know what I mean? I always like have that temptation to be like an evil person, but I'm just like, that's not in me. I can't be that person. I know it's a video game, but I don't know. Sometimes I try to, it's just not in me. So we have Jupiter in Libra. So, Jupiter is that big ball of happiness, of good luck and fortune. So creative balance, abundance, Jupiter will flourish in a peaceful, harmonious environment, Libra. So I love that for the fact because we're talking about the three of coins. You know what I mean? So creative abundance. So they're talking about creating something here with the three of coins. So I feel like even though it looks like when we look at the cards, because to me the cards tell me a story, and it's like you're trying to recover from the three of swords, and I feel like sleep is an escapism. You know what I mean? Look at the way that the swords are covering you in the front. It's like it's protecting you while you're recovering. You know what I mean? Or you're blocking people out. That's the way I see it. It's just like, but I feel like, someone that has gone through these situations, sleep can be an escapism. And that's where you got to be careful. It's like, yeah, go down the rabbit hole a little bit, or, just use your higher self. Don't even touch the rabbit hole. If you know what I mean? It's kind of like a black hole where it sucks you in. It's like, be rational with yourself. One, just because it doesn't happen doesn't mean it's not going to happen in the future. Like Spirit said, if it's meant to be in your path, it'll come into your path. We know what you need. I get caught up in, fantasy land sometimes, so it's just like, at least the gift I could take away from it is that at least I know it's something that I possibly may want in my life, but what does that look like? That's the thing I don't know. So 4 cups, dissatisfaction, focusing on what we lack. So this is where the 3 of swords and this go in together. The desire to better your circumstances. Inability to appreciate that which is available to you. Seen in a positive light, the card could represent a desire to better your life or your circumstances. In a negative light, it could mean the inability to appreciate the good things in life that are already available to you. Moon in Cancer. So they're showing this is like coming out of a shadow moon. So this is where I was saying this bottom row, I feel like is our throat chakra, where the inability to speak how we feel, and then we're used sleep to escape it. For me, I don't feel guilty anymore when things are quiet. I don't feel guilty anymore because it took that understanding for myself. I sat there like this, not this time, like it was like around New Year's. It was either the New Year or around there. I think it was almost New Year's. I think it was like the 28th or something. And I was just like, I was watching Wentworth, and it starts to get juicy, and you keep watching. It's on Netflix if you guys want to watch it. My sister was kind enough to share her password with me, and it's like now I'm rewatching it again, and I was like, oh my gosh, like you haven't done anything, like you're lazy, and I'm like, I'm not lazy, like like I was beginning to feel bad, like, oh, am I lazy? Like I've been watching this for a day, but it's just like you worked the whole holiday season, like you worked Christmas Eve, Boxing Day, 27th, you know what I mean? Like I was working, and I kept working until the new year, which is a blessing. I'm not complaining. But it's just like, you know what I mean? It's like I have to sit there and say like, yeah, you work and purge all this energy into this stuff. So when you have a day to yourself, it's like, don't feel bad. It's just like rest, enjoy it, We forget about that. We forget about everything we done. You know what I mean? And when we take time to ourselves, that shadow side's like, oh, you're lazy. And it's like, I'm not lazy. I say that about, I'm learning not to say I'm lazy anymore. It's just like, oh, I'm lazy because I put things off. Like, I'll do it later because I don't want to do it. So having attained a sense of a comfortable environment, Cancer, you have the instinctual tendency, Moon, to begin looking for greener pastures. So moving forward, and it wasn't that about a lot of the cards this week. It's like, you know what? Have the strength to move forward. Don't stay stagnant. And I feel like this is where, our shadow side comes in. It's like, hey, let's start thinking about this. Let's start thinking about that. Let's start, let's try to sit there and dig ourselves right into this. And this is where the earth, when we have that earth energy, but it's the shadow side, it's like starting to bury us alive. You know what I mean? The earth is cold and dark. You know what I mean? And they start burying you with it. It's just like, let's bury ourselves in our emotions. So either we overeat, we overdrink, we oversmoke, we overdo this, we overdo that, and then we sleep. Or we're laying down all night, and we're in our this energy. We're tossing and turning. The day comes, and then all of a sudden our body wants to rest because we were exhausted ourselves. All night we're sitting there thinking about that. It's like, you know what? Get up and do something. If you're tossing and turning and not able to sleep, I'd rather get up and do something and burn out, go have a shower. Honestly, have a nice shower. If you're able to, have a nice bath. It's like, honestly, you will feel a lot better. You'll sit there, you'll wash yourself clean, do it as a meditation. I'm washing away all of that sorrow. I'm washing away all that sadness. I'm coming out of the shower clean, a new slate. That's why I say, like, take every moment for that. Don't sit there and say, oh, it has to be a certain date on the calendar for the moon has to be in a certain, no, when you feel the strong urge to do something, do it. Follow your intuition. If you feel the urge to be like, you know what, I'm going to do, they'll sit there and they'll tell me, make an offering plate. No problem. I'll make an offering plate. I have no problem doing that. Listen to spirit. Do a bay leaf. It's time to put a bay leaf out. Okay, no problem. Burn the old one. Sit there and put the new one out. What do they want you to bring into the home? Follow your intuition into what you want to do. But I definitely feel like, with this Three of Swords, it is what it is. Just tell yourself, it was meant to be in my life. It would be. Sometimes, like I said, this time of year, especially the past 2 years, what we've been through, it's either you've gone through a natural process of grief or the unexpected ones really get you. Even when that's the thing, even when someone is passing away, I feel like you're never prepared for it. My mom is literally taking care of someone where he's, slowly, headed that way. But she does everything every day in her power to make sure that every day is the best day. He always tells my mom, you're my guardian angel. He's like, no one takes care of me the way you take care of me, And I'm like, what a blessing. I'm like, and I always tell my mom that, I'm like, you're such a blessing to these people because on their worst day, you give them that, love and energy that they need. She literally holds their hand as that process is, they transform, and I told her, I said, that's, you have an amazing heart because I couldn't do it. I'd be bawling my eyes out, I could see the toll it takes on her. She's a tough cookie, but, I could see that, we lived together, it's like you could see the toll it took on her. There was one time it was like one after another, and I could just see like each one just take its toll on her. And I told her, I'm like, you need to rest. I said, like, you need to put your feet up and relax and do something fun for yourself, so that way you can change this energy. Because that's a lot to be around that all the time, especially one after another. It's like, come on, but I'm glad she's a blessing to those people because, the world needs more people like that to sit there and be there for them. Like, but I definitely feel like it's just change that energy, make it a positive. Light up your Christmas tree. Have, turn the lights down in the house. Light your tree. Put some candles on. Do something positive for yourself, Go for a walk in the moonlight, Definitely embrace that moonlight if you're able to. I know it's a little chilly and it's like, ugh, but, it's like embrace that moonlight whenever you can. So I hope you guys enjoyed these daily tarot cards for Friday, December the 9th, 2022. May the universe bless you good. Have a safe and happy weekend. We'll see you for the next daily tarot card. Bye.